Hello, everybody. How's it going? All right, we're going to cut some stuff. Just want to make sure I have the right pieces. That is from that. Okay, I need that, that, and that. And I need pieces 1, 3, 5, and 7. All right, let's go do a little bit of cutting. My cutting table is a mess, you guys. Look at this. Sorry. All right. We need, for the swirling star, 1, 3, 5, and 7, we need, oh wait, I need more than just that. Oops, hold on. I gotta get the purples too. Because I need to cut for these. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 of each. I believe. Hold on. I didn't use that. I don't think I need that. I need those. These, really. I think everything else is good. All right. We're going to cut these. And some more of these. I think I need 4 of these. So I need 2 more. And these are 1.5 by 2.5 by 2. Okay. Where's, I need 2 more of those. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. You know what? We'll just cut the whole thing. And then 2.5. Doesn't have to be perfect for these. Fix my board. All right, so now I need, we're good on that. We're good on that. Okay, I need, here's my 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I need 4. I should be able to get enough for here. So I need 4 by 2. Okay, that's 4 by 1.5. 1, 2. That's 1, 2, and then I should be able to get the rest from here. All right, hold on. 2, that's 3, 4. So I have enough for the purples. I need 2 more of these. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Happy Monday. Hold on. All right. I need 1.5. We're not going to keep that. And we need a 4. And and 4. All right, now we have all the stuff we need. Let's throw these in there. These need. All right, now we can go back and finish the rest of our stuff. And this is cutting instructions for our pattern. That's what we're working on. This is what we have so far. We're gonna finish this star here soon, and then we're gonna do another one of these that I just cut that fabric for. We can throw the rest of this fabric back in our bag because we don't need that right now. And this is the pattern we are finishing up today. We should be working on something new on Wednesday. Good morning, Denise. I had a good Mother's Day weekend. It was good. I still haven't changed my bobbin. And guess what, you guys? I don't have any bobbins wound. So we're going to wind some bobbins. Get my bobbin winder over here. And then we are going to do one of them, because I don't feel like doing a whole bunch. How was everybody's Mother's Day weekend? How was your weekend if you're not a mama? That was a little crookery. All right, hold on. Get my scissors. It is rainy and cold here, you guys. It was like 80-something degrees yesterday, and it is like 50s today. It's supposed to be a little bit chilly and rainy this week. And then it should be good. And then we're going to be in the 90s next week. So isn't that great? Pollen is at an all-time high. And my sinuses are going crazy. Allergies. Actually, we have grass pollen happening right now, and it is horrid. All right, we're just doing a quick basting stitch. Let me find my petal. On these right here. I should put that over there, so that we could tack down this foundation. This is not piecing. We're done piecing with these. We're just like tacking the stuff down so that it's easier to piece when we put the pieces together. You want to make sure your foundation is flat on your fabric. And then we're going to be piecing this star piece together, this last big Jeremy star. And then go ahead and put my stitch length back down to normal. We're going to piece this together, and then when we're done piecing this, we will make the last swirling star, and then we could piece everything else together. So let's go ahead. Let me turn my iron on. I know, those will go out either today or tomorrow. Got to get caught up on some orders from the weekend since I wasn't here. All right. I'm going to press all these, just give them a quick press so I can get everything flat, good to go before we trim and start piecing. All right, there's 1, 2. What are you going to make with the blocks? Are you going to make it a gift for yourself? What you doing? Oh, I dropped a piece. Oh, sorry guys. All right. We're just pressing these down, make sure they're flat, crisp seams. Nice. I wish I could say that I've used leftover fabric for stuff, but I haven't. All right, let's trim. We're only going to trim along these edges for right now. I'm going to go ahead and trim all of them because we are going to be sewing this together today. So I like to not trim right away on these things if I'm not going to be sewing it right away because it minimizes your fraying. All woven material is going to fray. You just want to make sure that you minimize the fraying. So I don't necessarily trim the edges right away if I know I'm going to be piecing these. All right. Did anybody do anything fun over the weekend? Thank you guys for all your daily thumbs ups. So hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And then you'll be notified when we are live. We do lives. Hi, Jamie. We do lives 6 days a week, you guys. So we're on here, either myself or Boss Lady are on here doing lives. So you can always find us doing something with our wonderful product. Good morning, Karen. All right. Happy Monday, everybody. I feel somewhat accomplished. I had a great night's sleep last night, and I haven't been sleeping very well. So I'm all energetic and stuff, even though my allergies are going crazy. I feel accomplished. I did all my grocery shopping and everything this morning. I mean, I didn't leave the house, but good morning, Lorraine. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I did, you guys. I had a great Mother's Day. Very relaxed. Spent some time with my mom and my brother and his family. It was good. It was good times. All right. These are going to be going together like this. And then these. I think she's posted her lives. I'm not sure. I know I should know, but I don't. So we are going to be posting. I know mine are. All right, so this is going to go together like this. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but let's do these, and these. Okay. All right, we're gonna pin these together, and then we are going to sew them together. So I like pinning the corners, and then you match that up on the other side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just level this up a little bit, secure that pin. And then I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna try and match up these corners, but first of all, I want to kind of try and match up this. And do a diagonal pin. Let's see how this works out, and then I'm gonna match my corners up. Perfect. Okay. We'll see how that works. I'm going to throw one more pin right here just so we have it. The more straight you have your pinning and just matching up on the other side on that sewn line. And then we will sew down this line, but I'm going to prep the other ones as well. So the better you have everything lined up, the more square your block is going to be when you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this corner again. Match it up with the other side. Right there. Kind of line this up a little bit. So anybody new just joining us, we are working on our Stars for My Table Runner pattern. And this is what we have so far. We are working on piecing together the last big Jeremy star, and then we'll do the last swirling star. And then we'll put it all together. We are using our product. This is our pattern. Our product is this leave-in foundation that you use for piecing. It's made of a non-woven material, so there is no natural bias. Yes, I am piecing for a quilt, yes. Our product is really flexible, super thin, see-through. It's not crunchy or anything. It's just an amazing product. It is available on our website, easypiecing.com. And all of our patterns, they're just amazing. They're just good. It's good stuff. And I think one of the best things, and I know everybody else who's ever used our product, one of the best things is you're going to get amazing points. I'm pinning this corner over here first because I want to make sure that this one lines up. And then I am going to just do like a quick diagonal pin. And then I'm going to secure this pin. I'm going to do one more in the middle. Hello, Shannon. So yeah, that's what I got going on right now. We are going to finish this today, so we're going to be doing a different pattern starting on Wednesday. Let me match up the corners of this, and then you guys can see how amazing the product is. I'm just going to finish matching these up. Thank you so much for all your likes and comments and all your subscriptions and daily thumbs ups. It's amazing how quickly we are growing the community here. Thank you. After leaving the other platform because of just craziness and not being able to really truly do our lives the way we want to and need to. So it's a week. Boss Lady and I really appreciate your you have a time matching your corners. We make it a lot easier because you have lines to go by though, you know? But yes, we truly do appreciate everything that you guys have done to help us grow this platform. I make it look easy. Well, thank you. Honestly, you guys, this block makes it so hard for me to make it look easy because I have such a hard time matching these up for the long points. Everybody struggles with something. Nobody can do it all perfectly. Not even our creator boss lady. I mean, if you ask her, I'm just kidding. We try to make it as easy as can be. Sometimes the fabric says otherwise, but yeah. What else? If you guys haven't tried our product, I highly recommend it if you really want to hold the integrity of what you're sewing. Because it is made of a non-woven material and there's no natural bias to it, it acts as a stabilizer. So whatever you're sewing, it is going to stay that way. Trust me, when you screw up sewing it, it's gonna stay that way. Just kidding. And it makes things so nice. You don't have to square up your corners. You don't have to do like all this other stuff that you do normally. Okay, let's get to sewing. Actually, I could put this over here. And we're gonna sew down this solid line right here, you guys. Normal stitch length. You don't need to backstitch. Sew on that solid line that's already there, you guys. If you guys have any questions about our patterns or anything like that, just let me know. It's really hard to get these straight. Where's that needle? Is it on the back side? Probably. Yeah, it is. All right, hold on. These are stuck together. Okay. Whew. See, that just doesn't look right to me. So I'm gonna take this out. And hold on. All right, let's sew. Are these matching up? For some reason, I'm feeling like this isn't matching. Hold on. All right, that is matching. All right, hold on. You guys, I got a message from my hubby. I'm gonna pause you for a sec. All right, hopefully he will get my message. Okay, let's do another one without stabbing myself. If you guys buy our patterns, don't throw away the paperwork because we have refills or block packages to remake the pattern. And then you're really just buying the foundation because our foundation is a one-time use. It's leave-in, so it is a one-time use. Thank you guys so much for all of the subscribes, all of those daily thumbs ups. It does make a huge difference in building this community here on YouTube. All right, one last one, and then we will see how these turned out. And then piece these quarters together. Does anybody have any questions about our product, about the pattern I'm doing, about my anything sewing, anything non-sewing? I don't know. Ask away. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Teresa. You put your stuff in a binder? That's a great idea. So if you like the product, you know, you guys could also scan your patterns if you don't want all that paper stuff so that you can keep them for later. And keep them on file, and then you just have to print them. Oh, really? That's crazy. I wonder if my husband got my message. What thread do I use? There's that pin I was missing. You guys, I don't use anything crazy fancy. Honestly, I just use Sewology cotton thread. For my piecing, I don't use anything crazy fancy. All right, let's see what these look like. Oh, those are good. Those look good. All right, let's press these out. No, it is not the texture of a dryer sheet. It is so thin. It's minimal. You guys don't even notice it's in there. It is probably about 3/4 of the thickness of a dryer sheet. It is not fuse on. You don't iron it onto your product. You sew your fabric straight to it. Yeah. It's not, it's so thin. It's about the thickness of the thread you're going to use, you guys. Like it's not thick at all. Dryer sheets are definitely way thicker. All right, so that's 1/4. Let's see how this one turned out. That one did good too. I like to say it's about the thickness of the thread you're going to use. And let me tell you, it doesn't affect any quilting, hand quilting, sewing, nothing. It's not fusible. It doesn't gum up your machine. It is permanent. It stays in there. It acts as a stabilizer. And we are not new, you guys. We have been in business for over a decade. We have been producing this product for over a decade. Now we have changed our manufacturers for the actual foundation. I think like once, but not drastic. All right, let's get the other two ironed out, then we can trim and sew these together. That one turned out okay. I'm not gonna super stress these. It's all about the pinning for that big point though, and sometimes my patience just can't handle it. It just can't handle it. That's a good question, Teresa. I think it is a no, and the paper actually, when you're ripping that paper out, it distorts what you're sewing. And you're not going to get that here, so you're going to have the integrity held of what you sew. We do offer blank foundation. That one turned out good. Look at that. All right, we offer blank foundation, so if we don't have a pattern that you guys want or a block package or something, we do have some easy ways to get your pattern onto our foundation so that you have that integrity held of what you're sewing. Because if you're going to spend the time to piece something, I feel like you should, like, it should reflect the work you actually did. And we have so many patterns. Has anybody thought about like any block packages or border packages or anything like that that you guys want to see me do? I am going to go ahead and trim my 1/4 inch seam allowance on these two sides only. I'm going to leave this raw until we finish the whole pattern or the whole block. Right? Thank you, Lorraine. I'm totally new to this YouTube stuff. Not that I don't go on YouTube. I don't know. I would love to see a sunflower block of some sort too. We don't have one. So maybe email Boss Lady and ask her if there's any way she could make one. You guys, Boss Lady is my mother-in-law. She is the creator and founder of our product, if you're new here. And she is the one that does lives on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I do my lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, just email her. Do you have a storm at sea? We absolutely do. I actually have a topper done if you would like to see it. I have, I think it's our smallest storm at sea pattern that I have done. And I could show it to you. Okay. I love the storm at sea one. Was so fun to do because it's literally, unless you're playing around with the colors, like if you're doing it the one colorway like I did, it is so fun and so easy to do. All right, so these are all trimmed. So now these are going to go like this. And then we'll sew these halves together and then the half together, and then we'll trim it out. All right, so let me find, it's in my box over here. Oh, it's on top almost. All right. That is my box of stuff that I need to do. It's crazy. Those are all stuff that I need to quilt. All right, let's move my iron out of the way and let's show it. I loved this one. It was so fun to do. I did it with Cafe as the border, and then this is Cafe, Grunge, and Moda Marbles, but let's see. This is the small Storm at Sea pattern too. So that's the small Storm at Sea. And if you look behind the scenes, these are all our blocks. And one of the good things about using the foundation, each one of these is one piece. You don't have to square them up, you guys. They're already squared up. And it is literally 3 blocks. It's this block, and this block. It's just turned. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that one, and I cannot wait to quilt it. I just don't know what I'm going to do to quilt it. That's my problem. Thank you guys. That was a fun one to do. You're welcome. If you guys are curious about any of our other patterns, check out the website, easypiecing.com. This is the pattern we are working right now. Stars for my table runner. That's what we have so far. We're working on the last Jeremy star that will go down here, and then we have one more swirling star to do. And then the rest is just piecing the blocks together. Background on this one or the Storm at Sea? I think I have fabric set aside. I think I might do the Storm at Sea, the background, like a teal. Ooh, that sounds fun, Sherry. All right, let's pin this. I like matching up my corners first, you guys. Kind of match that up like that. And I like to peel it back to make sure they match up. And then I'm going to throw a pin in there. And then we're going to match these up. One of the easiest and quickest ways to match up your point. Put your needle in right on the opposite side and right on that line right there. And then you match it up on the other side. And sometimes with a little bit of light, you can kind of very faintly see the line on the other side. And that's how I make it look so easy. Lorraine. It is a Storm at Sea. Good morning, Sandy. And now I'm going to match up these corners over here. Actually, I'm just going to match up this seam. Corners will match up there close enough anyways. No one ever sewed my suit. This is how I know people don't deserve heroes. What does that mean, Ranger? If you're going to come in here and comment on my live, at least make it understandable. That's very cryptic. All right. Match that up. And then I am actually going to do a little diagonal on here. It's probably a bot, but when I say something back to them, most of the time they just go away. No, it's not really obvious because right now you're just I'm going to go ahead and say this. You're just some words on a screen to me right now. You know what? Hold on. I put that in the wrong way, guys. Make sure these line up. Oh yeah, those look good. And we're just gonna sew down this side. If this thing ever sews, come on. Why are my feed dogs not working? What is going on here? Hold on. All right, Ranger, you're gonna have to go. We talk about sewing in here. I have, the camera is around my neck. There we go. I guess it just didn't like the bulkiness there. Very weird. All right. We're just going to sew down this solid line. All the solid lines on our patterns, you guys, are sew lines. Okay. Yeah, that was like a little mess right there. Let's see how this turned out. That looks good, 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 and good. Nice. Let's go ahead and I'm not going to press that out yet, but let me see. So we have this. I'm going to alternate my pressings for this. So I'm going to press that after. All right, let's go ahead and pin this. I'm going to match my corners up. See, that was not. Of course, Sherry. Of course. My parents are the same as they always are. They're okay. They're alive. They're not 6 feet under, so they're good. Okay. Thank you for asking though. All right, I am gonna match this one up as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and sew. And then we'll press these out. And okay. Then we'll press these out and sew these halves together, and then this block will be done, you guys. The camera is just my phone, you guys, and it has a strap around my neck. All right, that looks great. So my points matching. All right, so we're gonna press these. I'm gonna press. The drive was fine. Going down there was like, you're fine, Jamie. It's kind of intriguing, isn't it? I used to have this right here. This is where I watch, you guys. I used to have this. It like followed you around, but it doesn't give you the point of view that you really need when you're sewing, I think. So yeah, the drive, Denise, it's only normally like a 2-hour drive, but we drove out to the ocean front first, and it was a little bit longer. Traffic was a teeny bit worse, but traffic is always bad because you guys, I have to travel 95 up by DC, and it's always bad. All right, so this one I'm gonna press like that, and then we will put these together. So it wasn't bad. Thank you. I do like the setup with my iron right here, my cutting board, and then my sewing machine. It does make it very handy to do this. All right, so then these two are going to go together right there. So let's put right sides together. Because I did the nesting, I alternated my way that I nested, so those will fit right together. I'm just putting them there right now because, thank you. It does look cool, doesn't it? We're gonna match up this right here. If I can ever get that in there. Okay. And then we're gonna match it up on the other side. It makes it so much easier because we have our lines on our patterns. Make it so much easier to line things up, you guys. All right, let's match these up. Then we will flip to the other side. Like that. Secure that pin. Do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll straighten out the center mess. I just kind of like to pin the center, not the way it's going to stay pinned, just to hold everything together so I can put everything else together. So that one's a little bit off, so I am going to fix that. Ow. Try not to stab your thumb with your pin. All right. This is the last piecing we have for this big star. Let me check the other side. Oh, that's a little bit off. I like to be as precise as I can without spending a ton of time pinning. It's a preference, you guys. If you're not that worried about it, then nobody else is either. Like, unless you're commissioning for something, for a pattern, I don't think it really matters. All right, I think those matched up pretty well. They did, I can see in there. You might not be able to. All right, we're gonna sew this. Okay, we're just gonna sew down this solid line all the way from one end to the other. Try to stay as close as you can to that solid line. It'll make sure that everything stays up squared and make sure that, okay, this is where it's going to be a little crazy. It'll make sure that what you're doing stays that way, you know? And I like... I'm going to take that pin out. I'm going to take that pin out. And then... All right, let's see what we got, you guys. We might have to go up to the big iron and press this out. The moment of truth. Look at that. Looks good. All right, let's go up to the big iron. Press this out. Move my Storm at Sea pattern or quilt top over there. All right. When you're ironing on the foundations, because it is made of a non-woven synthetic material, don't use your cotton setting, you guys. I use my wool silk setting on most of my irons. Oh my gosh, look at that point. That looks so good. And I am going to open this seam up. Come on. Don't be difficult. Actually, you know what? I could have just done that. Let's do that. Kind of pinwheel. It does look good. Let's give it a little steam, a little steamy steam. Okay. There we go, you guys. Let's go, we can trim it right here. Just gonna trim my 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I do use a regular acrylic ruler for trimming my seam allowances. Don't have to have anything crazy. Okay. And then one more. Where are all my new followers from? You guys, I am in Northern Virginia, up by DC. And then Boss Lady, my mother-in-law, she is, nope, Sherry, the other one that I just cut on, I have used that one. I've had that for like 4 years. Boss Lady, my mother-in-law, she's the creator of our product. She writes a majority of our patterns. She is in South Bay area of California. Thank you guys. All right, so we have one more swirling star. Excuse me. Germantown, Maryland. Nice. We have one more swirling star to make, and I have all my pieces. I had already cut these apart. We have these, and these. Okay. That is so awesome, Denise. I have no desire to do clothes, you guys. I have no desire. I'm representing Carlsbad Caverns today. You guys support your national parks. Okay. Our foundations have writing on them, you guys. We have numbers, and then we have writing. Make sure you can read that writing properly. If not, flip it over. And you want to be able to read the writing on the side that you sew on. So these are all basically the same thing. I know they say A, B, C, and D, but we're good. Sherry's like, me neither. Denise, what did you make? All right, piece 1. Hold on, I gotta look back at one of my other ones because I don't feel like looking at the pattern. So, piece 1 is dark purple. All right, let's just put this bad boy right here. Dark purple right here is 1, 2, I have to, hello, Imelda? Is that how you say it? Lorraine, you're like, I have 0 interest for that. 0. All right, we are doing the dark purple. So I'm just going through and pulling out my dark purple pieces. Okay, dark purple is piece number 1. Sorry if I keep clearing my throat, you guys. The grass allergies are killing me this year. I don't know if it's because this whole menopause thing, and it says that, anyways. Oh, I think I need more of these. Oh, I definitely think I need more of these. I think I'm only going to be able to do like 1. I need like 12 more of these. Oh, nice. That sounds so fun. All right, let's go ahead and cut out some more of these. I don't think that's enough. I just don't want to break into a brand new piece. Hold on. I thought I cut enough, you guys. Of course, I didn't go by the pattern. No. I should be able to get something out of that too. Sorry. I apologize. It's just allergies, you guys. I promise. I promise. All right, these are 2 by 2.5. Yes. So I need 12 more of these. Let's see if I can. And this is 3. So let's do 2.5. Ew, and your cutting does not have to be perfect for these at all. Because you're gonna trim after. All right, 1, 2. I only need 10 more. That's 4. So if I do 2.5. All right. And that's 8. Let me press this really quick. Yeah, I had a cold when I went to Colorado, but now I came back and it's just allergies. Grass pollen is crazy here right now. All right. Almost done. All right, 8, 9, 10. I need 2 more. Hold on. Hold on. I don't want to break into the big yardage that I have for this, so hold on. I gotta check through this, make sure I don't, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, aren't I? Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. What is this? Let me press this really quick. I don't think that's 2. I think that's more like 1.5 though. No, that's probably 1.5. Yep. That's not gonna work, guys. Hold on. I need 1 little piece. All right. And that's only 3. All right, that's 2.5. Let me just cut. I have like short 1. 1 little piece, you guys. 1 little piece. Oh, well. We're gonna have to break into this. I'm gonna use this for like maybe the background. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But yes, I am literally going to just cut 1 out of here. Because it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Let's go ahead and just cut this salvage off. And then I got my 2 pieces. See, we made it work. You're just like, I don't want to make any. All right, let's get to going on this. All right. These are piece number 1. You always want the wrong side of the fabric to be touching your foundation. And And then we are going to line up the line in between piece 1 and piece 2. Right here is your sew line. So we're gonna line that up about 1/4 inch, just estimate it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just gonna put a pin in there. And then we'll flip that over. I'm gonna get my next piece. It's gonna go like that, right sides together. And you just wanna make sure that you have about 1/4 inch of fabric between here and here to go over. And then we're gonna pin that. I'm gonna pin that up there like that. And then we are gonna sew down that line from there to the end. So let's get the other 3 pieces ready. Flip that over. This is piece number 2. It's gonna go, I want this like right here. So let's flip that over. We're just lining that up on the edge right there. And then pinning it. You can take that pin out if you want. All right. 2 more. Flip that over. This is piece number 2 right here. So we're going to put that right there. Put a pin in it. Flip that over. And then our last one, right sides down. Hello, Kathleen. Like the name, that's my mom's name. Kathleen. All right. And then flip that over. Thank you so much, Sherry. This was an easy choice though. Because it was all like, it was a fat quarter bundle. All right, now let's sew these. I'm gonna move my coffee back over to this side, out of the way. All right, no, you guys don't have to shorten your stitch length or anything like that. No back stitching, none of that. And then you want to stop at the end of that solid line. And no, I don't like starting and stopping my thread. So yes, I like to semi-chain piece as much as possible. Don't forget, you guys can get all of our patterns, including this one that I'm working on right now, on our website, easypiecing.com. Thank you so much for the daily likes and the new subscribes and all of that stuff. It really helps us build this platform and our audience. I want to make sure these line up in the back. All right, now we are going to trim these apart, press them, all that good stuff. Okay, make sure my iron is good. Just gonna roller these out. I like to use our roller and heat to set my seams because I like to have a nice crisp seam because you're sewing the fabric right onto that foundation. You don't, you want it to be as crisp as possible. That's just my personal preference though. And I feel like I get a good seam starting with our roller, and then I just set that seam with my iron. So you have a nice crisp seam, like you could barely see it. All right, let's press these, and then we're gonna trim and put the next piece. So we're just going by number. I call it sew by number. It sounds so playful and childish. I know, but still. All right. So we're gonna grab our straight edge. We just did piece 1 and piece 2. We're gonna cut for piece 3. So that line in between what you've already done and the next piece is your next sew line. So we're gonna get our straight edge. We're gonna pull the foundation back. You don't wanna cut this foundation. Then we're gonna get our add a quarter ruler, and that hooks right on that straight edge. And then we're gonna trim. Oh, chain piecing is so much nicer. All right, so piece 1, 2, and 3. Piece 3 is our light purple. So we're gonna line that up, right sides together. And I'm just gonna throw a pin in it. And then we are gonna sew that line. Let's go ahead and trim the other 3 and put those together so we can sew them. The only time I do one piece at a time, Karen, is when it's a block that really requires a lot of attention per block, and they're not the same. So that's the only time I ever really sew one piece at a time. And the fact that this is like 3/4 or 4/4 of the block, like each one is a quarter of the finished block, they're basically the same. So we're good to do it. It takes minimal thought. Also, another thing, if you guys are not used to cutting everything out for your fabric or for your pattern, our cutting instructions give you instructions for cutting for the whole pattern at one time. Like these are the cutting instructions for this pattern. You have your Jeremy star and then your swirling star, which is what I'm doing now. And it tells you each piece, each number, how much to cut. And in our patterns, they're pictures and words, you guys. I mean, our patterns are so nice and easy to follow. I am a visual learner, so the pictures I love. I'm not interested in reading a bunch of words. I want to see. So we're going to sew down that line. The Guardian backing? What is that? Am I missing something? I'm like, I don't know what that is. All right, the last light purple. You guys, is Guardian backing like a foundation or something? You're missing too, Sherry. We're in the same boat, lady. All right, let's sew these. Yes, thank you, Denise. Thank you for reminding. Don't throw your patterns away, because if you ever want to do it again, you could just buy the block packages to make it, or the refill. And then you have the pattern and you're not spending as much money. Oh, okay. Is Guardian backing like a mesh type thing? So this is our product. This is easy piecing. This is our leave-in foundation. You guys aren't going to find this on anywhere else like ours. We do have a patent pending on it, so even if you do, it's not the original. This is the pattern we are working on. In case anybody is wondering, it's our stars for my table runner. All of our patterns and product and everything else is available at easypiecing.com. And this is what we're working on. We got our big Jeremy stars done. We have 3 of the 4 swirling stars done. One's over here. And we're working on the 4th one. And then we will just put everything together. Thank you, Sherry. I mean, I am pretty partial, but I think everybody in here is too. But we won't go there. It just makes life easier. You're not ripping anything out. Our foundations are made of a non-woven material, so there's no natural bias to them. So what you're going to sew is what you're going to see. That's what you're going to end up with. That's what's going to stay that way. And it holds the integrity of what you're sewing. That's what I love about our product. And I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I mean, I am kind of. All right, let's press these out. Right? It does kind of. It works with my OCD too. If you guys haven't noticed with my pinning, yeah. And my rolling and then pressing, I just want it to be all, I am kind of a perfectionist. So, you know. All right, let's press these. I just want a nice crisp seam. Thank you guys so much for all your daily thumbs ups for the live and all of your subscriptions. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, definitely do so. It helps for you guys to find us when we're live. I do my lives Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Hello, Marlene. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Boss Lady, my mother-in-law, the creator of our product, she writes our, I just call her Boss Lady. She does her lives Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so you guys can see us live 6 days a week on here. And she does hers 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I do mine on, yeah, we can do that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to noon Eastern Standard Time. Do I want? Yeah, that'll work. And then we're going to pin this, and then we're going to sew down this side between 3 and 4. It's super simple, you guys. And then once you start using it, once you do like one pattern, you're good to go. Now, our block packages and our border packages do not come with detailed instructions. They come with the foundation, and they come with cutting instructions. If you get our pattern refills, you literally just get a refill of the foundations. You don't get cutting instructions. You don't get anything else. So if you're new to our product, I would suggest getting a pattern first so that you can learn the ins and outs basically of how to work with our product and not be completely lost. And then you love it, you want to come back, you want to do something more. That's when you start doing the, I think I want this over here. That's when you start doing the block packages and the border packages, and you're making your own design, which is so fun on its own. All right. I have fun doing these, you guys. Yes, this is work for me, but it's also fun work. Technically, it's work. All right, the next one right here. Ooh, that's a pretty piece. I love this fabric. It looks like it's stitched. Isn't that awesome? Let's do that. I'm all talking to myself over here. I mean, kind of. I guess you guys are listening. All right, let's sew these. We're just going to sew down that solid line. Two stitches max over that end of that line is all you want to do, because it will interfere with future trimming. So is anybody else new in here? First time on our lives? Where's everybody located? I'll start for all you new people. I am in Northern Virginia. My name is Laura. Boss lady is Deb or Debbie or just boss lady. I don't know if she really likes the boss lady thing, but I'm whatever. I think she thinks it's funny when you guys call her boss lady on her lives. But I love it. So continue on. And then, yeah, I'm in Northern Virginia in the 95 DMV area. All right. All of our online orders, you guys, most of them ship out of here. So if you're on the East Coast, they are a very short shipping period. If you're on the West Coast, sorry, it's going to take about a week to get to you. All right. Come on, thread. Let's clean my mess up. Let's roller these out. So if you watch Boss Lady's lives or you take any of her classes at quilt shows and conventions and stuff like that, she will tell you sew, press, trim. Sew, press, trim are your basic 3 steps of piecing on our foundation. Sew, press, trim. So we just sewed. Now we're pressing. You guys, this is a game changer right here. If you don't have access to a heat iron, it's really good. It's way better than using your fingers. And then I like to double it up and use my heat to press it. That way you get like this really tight seams, because you're sewing your stuff down. You don't want it to be all bulky and uneven, and I just love the crispness that it gives you. So that being said, you don't have to. Just finger press it too if you want. You don't have to have all this fancy stuff. You can do it without fanciness. I just like the fancy. And who doesn't? All right. Now we've done pieces 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move on to piece 5. So we're going to get we've sewn over here. So this is our next sew line. So we're going to put our straight edge on that sew line. We're going to hold it in place and pull that foundation back, get our add a quarter ruler, which will hook onto this straight edge, and you trim your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then we have dark blue is our next color. So we're going to take our dark blue piece right here. We're going to put it right sides together. And we're going to pin it. And I think, yes. And then when we sew, we're going to sew right down that line right there. So let's go ahead and trim the other 3 pieces really quick. And then we will sew these. These blocks go by so quickly, you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and separate out my dark blue pieces. Right sides together. Just line that up on that edge that you just did. Good morning. And then we're going to sew down this line. And then, there we go. All right, we have this one and then one more to sew. All right. Pin that, and then we're going to sew down that line. One more to trim. There. And then pin that. Now let's sew those down there. Let's grab our pin thing. All right. And then once we sew this, we'll do the press and then we'll trim. And then just keep going. Now, I don't think that I'm going to be doing this pattern again on our lives. This is the 3rd day we've been doing it. But I will have a new pattern that we will be doing on Wednesday. Holy cow, that is hot. It's cold here today, like upper 50s and rainy. We had a storm come through last night and it was bad. And it brought a cold front with it. So we're supposed to be in the 90s next week. I'm okay with it being like a little bit colder for a little bit longer. I mean, 60 is not really cold. I think we have a high of like 50 something. You want me to do one more? I could do this on Wednesday too. It's not that big of a deal. I'll have to cut all the extra pieces. Holy cow, Sherry. See, this is why I don't live in Arizona. That is insane. This is why I don't miss South Texas, is because if we were in South Texas, still we would be like super hot. That's crazy. That's when you just stay inside. So I guess it doesn't really matter where you live. All right, let's get these pressed. What do you do? Do you stay inside, Sherry? Do you just stay inside when it's 100 degrees outside? Because that's where I would be, in the AC. Or in the water. If I was in the water, I'd be good. But if I didn't have water, I'm inside. All right, we just did piece 6 or 5. Let's trim for piece 6. That is just crazy. I mean, it's not that crazy, but it's crazy. All right, let's see. I think I want this side. What's fun about this is you can just you know, kind of make it your own. Flip it around. I'm trying. Yeah, no, that's already happened here. It doesn't matter. We are not those people. I will spend the extra money for heating and air conditioning and be comfortable in my house. If I want to be uncomfortable, I'll go outside. All right, I like that. Yeah, because you're on the West Coast. It gets cool here at night, but not cool enough. You're like, yes, I stay inside. I guess. I mean, you guys did have unusually cold weather recently, right, Sherry? Okay. No, do I want that? Maybe. Kind of matches the other one. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. All right, one more. Yeah, here, we still kind of are having a fall. Like, it's not hot at night by any means. Oh, hey, stop getting ahead of yourself, Laura. All right, let's do this one, and we're going to do this, like, right here. I know Maria's not on here because she is on her way back from Tampa, but I can't even imagine the temperatures on the border. She gets super hot weather, McKellen. Like, where's my sew line? Okay. We are moving along so quickly on this, you guys. All right. Now, time to trim. Press and trim. Oh, yeah. Our humidity is, I think it's funny. We normally have I mean, right now the humidity is crazy because it's raining. But normally our summers are very humid and hot, yes, because we are surrounded by water. And that's what happens when you're surrounded by water and you have the heat. It's humid. And there's no way to avoid that. All right. Let's press these out. And then we'll trim. And you guys, this is the last block that we will be doing for this pattern because everything else is just putting everything together and putting the borders on. So this is the actual last piecing block, because this is the pattern we're working on again. Just as a refresher, stars for my table runner. It's available on our website. And then this is what we have done so far. And then this is the third swirling star, and we're working on the fourth swirling star right now. Omaha, Nebraska. Well, I mean, there is water there. It's right on the Mississippi, right? I'm telling you, anytime there's heat and water, you're gonna have humidity. I mean, lots of water, you guys. You're like, I had enough of that, and I'm out. Oh yeah, the Missouri River. I knew it was on water or something. Yeah, I guess Omaha, Nebraska is like not on the Mississippi. That's Iowa, right? I'm like, what? Okay. Right? That's me, Lorraine. That's totally me. We have so many rivers and everything else here, and the Chesapeake Bay, and the ocean isn't that far. We're just like surrounded by water here. It's a bit insane, actually. I would love to live where it is dry, but my sinuses, like, I would be miserable, you guys. I would be miserable. Right? We get a lot of thunderstorms and stuff like that in the summertime. We get a lot of pop-up thunderstorms because of the high humidity and the heat. And then we're going to sew that. Right? You're just, so you're on the coast though, Lorraine. Anywhere on the coast is humid. You have that heat, you have the humidity. We are probably about, my house is probably like 2 miles from a big river. And then we have a bunch of little lakes and stuff like that around. And actually my house is probably about between, it's not halfway in between. It is closer to one river than the other, but then there's another big river called the Potomac, which is huge. That's the one that runs through DC. That is less than 5 miles. Well, probably about 6 miles from my house. Takes a little bit more to drive there, but if you're going to be right there. And then the bay, and yeah, it's miserable. Miserable humidity, but my body loves it, mainly because I grew up here, you guys. I grew up on the East Coast, so all that heat and humidity. But let me tell you, I have been on the West Coast by the water in the heat, and it is humid. So, it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. That's okay though. It could be worse. It could be worse. All right. Guys, we're almost done. We're almost done for today. Just gonna trim these, press these. That is how it was when we lived in Corpus Christi, because we lived out on Padre Island. We could walk to the Intercoastal and then like a short bike ride to the Gulf Coast. We would quite frequently take family walks down to the Intercoastal, like maybe half mile. Right? You guys get monsoons, Sherry. I love the salt air. I love it. You know, Wilmington is a beautiful area. Just has I love the beach feel. You guys, I've always wanted to live, like I was in heaven, the whole beach feel, living on the island in Texas. But the summers in Texas were brutal. The winters were amazing. So, you choose. Which one? Lesser of the evils. It is growing so fast. It has grown so much since I was small and little. And I think everything is. We're going to sew down that line. Everything is growing so quickly. It's growing here. Before we know it, there's going to be like this constant urban sprawl between DC and Richmond. Because they're building and building and building and building and building. And it's just nonstop. And then we're going to have a constant urban sprawl out to West Virginia and Northern Virginia. Because that is constantly building too. Thank you for joining, Denise. Have a great day. And yes, we'll see you on Wednesday. And just for you, we will continue to do this pattern on Wednesday. We will be finishing it on Wednesday, though. So make sure you pop in when I get on so you can see it all and you don't miss it. But have a great, great rest of your Monday and see you on Wednesday. You guys, I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm going to finish piecing this. And then we're going to sew down there. We only have a couple more pieces left to sew. So we are going to finish piecing these and we will put this together on Wednesday. I need to clean my mat off. There's all these threads everywhere. I love it when you come down to these are the very last pieces to piece for the whole pattern. I love it when that happens. All right, let's make this fun right here. Let's do... All right, let's go ahead and sew these. One more after this. Thank you, Lorraine. I do like these colors. I love this fabric. I love how it looks all doodly, but it looks like stitching. I think that's what attracted me to this fabric, is the stitching in it, just to add that extra little like funness to it. All right, and we'll press this out. And then who doesn't love a good like teal and purple and blue? I did get them last year, so I don't know. I am check Hancock of Paducah. That is where I got them. I don't know if they have them on the website or not. It was a fat quarter bundle. And then, yeah, I got the yardage of this fabric so I could use it for the border and stuff. Well, not the border, but the background. This is a roller. It's just a pressing roller. We have them available on our website, easypiecing.com. It helps you, instead of using your finger to press, and it gives you a very controlled, crisp seam. That's why I love it. All right, piece 9. You're very welcome. All right, and then we're gonna grab our next piece. I suggest labeling, you guys, if you're not sure. Does that work? Or that? Ooh, that kind of works. Let's do that. See if we can match that up a little bit. Oh yeah, that works. Sometimes I like to see what it's gonna look like when it's already done and sewed on there, so. It helps to visualize. If it doesn't matter to you, then it doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters to me. See, like this one, I don't know. Let's see this way. Does that go? I think I kind of like the other way, but I think I'm gonna do that way. That works. Okay, and then we're going to sew down that. Let's trim these other 2 pieces. Don't forget to check out our website, you guys, easypiecing.com. All of our stuff is on there. Block packages, patterns, the whole shebang. The whole shebang. So you guys know what's funny is this whole ancestry DNA thing. So my brother's done it. Both my sisters have done it. My husband and I have had the kits, and I just got to do them I'm doing them this week because that's crazy. Like the outcome, like some nationalities that like ethnic, ancestral, whatever that are in my bloodline that I didn't even know about. And it's crazy. My oldest sister is so funny. She's like, I have 20% Norwegian and now I'm Viking. And I'm like, yeah, you're Viking. I love her. She's the best sister. All right, I think that works. Let's do that. Okay, all right, let's sew. We have this piece to sew and then the next piece to sew, and And that's it, you guys. Then we'll sew these together, but we're not going to sew these quarters together. Make sure you're not cutting off the tip of, like right here. Let me grab my, so right here where this tip comes, and you're going to sew on this line right here, make sure you're not cutting that tip off. So you sew like just on the other side of it. And that makes it so nice that you can see through and see where everything is at. Two more. All right, one more. That one's a little crooked. Did I pin it crooked? Oh well. Okay. And then we'll trim the other side. And get those sewn on. Okay. Just as a reminder, you guys, we are working on the last block of this, of our Stars for My Table Runner pattern. You can get it at our website, easypiecing.com. And then this is what we got so far. And then I do have this one. I can put this one over here. This is going to go like that. And I'm finishing up the last swirling star. That'll go right here. And then the rest is just piecing it together. Some extra pieces and, you know. All right, so let's get this. As you can see, I didn't cut off the tips of my stars, my points. All right, one more. Thank you guys so much for all the subscriptions and views and likes and comments, all that good stuff. And it is 10 after, you guys, and I know we're in the middle of doing this block, but we will finish doing the piecing of the other one and then piecing these blocks together and then piecing everything else together on Wednesday. So if you can imagine, these are going to be like this. There's another color on the inside, so don't freak out. This is going to be in the middle. So that's what we have going on. Don't forget, it is the Stars for My Table Runner pattern. You can get it at easypiecing.com. This is a just a rolling press. We do have it available on our website, easypiecing.com, along with all of our patterns, block packages, border packages, all of fabric kits, all of that stuff. So join me on Wednesday to finish this project. We're going to finish putting all of this together, and I will be on 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Don't forget to check out 12 p.m. to 2 Pacific Standard Time, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Boss Lady will be doing her lives. I'm not really sure what she's working on this week, but check it out, pop in and see what she's doing. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.